Yo, Darious Britt here. So today we're going to talk about the pros and cons of going to film school. So I've been getting this question a lot lately, and that is, should I or should I not go to film school? And my answer to that is, it really depends on you. We're going to talk about the pros and cons of going to film school, the alternatives of film school, and I'll talk about my experience. The biggest benefit to going to film school has to be the immersion. You pretty much eat, drink, and sleep film while you're going to school. You're essentially thrown in with a group of people, given deadlines, and pushed to make projects. And under these circumstances, you're going to learn a lot. You're going to learn from your mistakes, and you're going to learn from your classmates' mistakes. You definitely watch a lot of films in film school, of course, many of which you wouldn't normally be exposed to had you not gone to film school. You read lots of chapters and books about film, so it's like a kind of a holistic attack, you know. You do film on your own time, you do homework about film. Another big benefit is access to equipment. Expensive gear that you would have normally had to purchase on your own or rent at a production house, you get to play with for the cost of tuition, which could be relatively inexpensive depending on what school you're going to. Oftentimes, between doing projects for school, you can check out the gear and do your own little projects on the side, so that always comes in handy. Another benefit of going to school is the relationships that you build. When you work really long hours on each other's projects, you tend to get really close, and you learn each other's strengths and weaknesses. And when you get out of film school and you're trying to get a project off the ground for little to no money, these are the people who usually go to war for you. The ones who are willing to work really long hours for little to no cash because they know you do the same for them. And if you want to be involved with filmmaking, but you're not really sure in what capacity and you don't know enough about what positions are available, film school is a really good place to start because you get kind of a really holistic view of what's out there. It gives you the opportunity to learn a little bit about everything until you discover what you like and what it is you want to pursue. The biggest setback would have to be the cost. Community colleges, if you're taking a couple classes or if you're doing the whole program, could cost you a few hundred to a few thousand. Universities could cost you anywhere from $30,000 to $80,000. And the higher end schools you could easily spend over $100,000. You could take the money that you would have spent on film school and purchase equipment or shoot a low budget feature film. The degree you get in film is pretty useless. It's not really going to get you a job. The film industry is connection based and performance based. Nobody cares where you went to school. If you want to use your degree to go higher up into a master's degree and maybe come back and teach film, then you're probably in the right place. But if you want to use your degree to leverage yourself a position in the industry, that's definitely not going to happen. The reality of it is, if you have friends or relatives who are in the industry, then when you get out of film school, you have an exponentially higher chance of getting a job out of film school over somebody who has no connections at all. If you want to be a screenwriter, you got to write a kick-ass spec script or place well in a screenplay competition to get noticed or recognized. And if you want to be a director, you've got to scrounge together your own funds somehow, some way, make a kick-ass movie and get recognized or noticed at a film festival. In either case, you have to produce a work to show that you're good at what you do and that your talent is marketable. Because at the end of the day, as far as the industry is concerned, what they really want to know is, can we make money with you? Another big drawback with film school is there's a lot of theory. Theory is great if that's what you're into, but what good is theory if you don't have the practical knowledge to apply it? You can go on and on about the meaning of a shot and how well it's composed and why somebody did such and such and yada da, but it does you no good if you don't know how to turn the camera on. The equipment that you have access to can get a little dated. I mean, higher end schools even have a problem with keeping current on the latest softwares, cameras, etc., etc., etc. Technology is turning over and changing so rapidly that it's really hard for schools in general to keep up. Sometimes you can find yourself a little ahead of the program using camera or software that the school's not even using yet. And there's no such thing as a perfect film program. Some teachers and professors you get are very awesome and extremely knowledgeable, and then there are others that, not so much. Not every instructor is going to have the knowledge base or the experience level that you'd expect. Some film programs give you a wide breadth of knowledge but no real depth, and then there are other programs that say specialize in directing, but then their departments in editing and cinematography are somewhat lacking. Each program varies from school to school, and it's going to have its own strengths and weaknesses. Nowadays, there are so many resources available to you outside of the classroom setting that you don't really need to go to film school to learn how to do filmmaking. Between reading forums, reading books, and video tutorials on YouTube, you can learn everything that you would have learned in film school and probably more. As long as you volunteer on as many sets as humanly possible so you can get experience playing with equipment and seeking mentorship from people who know a lot more than you, you can pretty much put yourself through your own film school. And you'll probably have built a lot of referrals and contacts along the way. I loved every second of film school. I went to the University of Arizona's theater, film, and television program. Although the program wasn't perfect and it definitely had its strong suits and weaknesses, I definitely learned a lot. In the areas where the program was lacking, I more than made up for it by working a ton of sets, getting tons of hands-on experience, and reading books, etc., etc., etc. A lion's share of the knowledge that I got out of film school occurred outside of the classroom. With film school, you definitely get out of it what you put into it. If you don't really apply yourself, you're not going to learn much, but if you apply yourself as much as you possibly can and soak everything everything up like a human sponge and take advantage of every opportunity you get to learn something, then your progress is going to be very rapid. When I started film school, I didn't know a damn thing, but by the time I got out, I definitely felt like I knew a thing or two about a thing or two. The most valuable thing I would say I got out of film school were the relationships. I wouldn't have been able to shoot my first feature-length film had it not been for the relationships I made in film school. The friends that I made were willing to work crazy hours for almost next to nothing because they supported me, and to be honest with you, that's something you can't really buy. Those are relationships forged from long hours of working on each other's projects and getting to know each other really, really well. And if you're lucky enough to have a career, these are the people that you turn to again and again for projects, and then when you do make it and you are getting paid, guess who else is getting paid with you? Your friends. Or if one of them makes it and they're getting paid, guess who they call upon for work? They call you. It ultimately comes down to you. If you feel that you learn better in a structured environment with deadlines, then by all means go to film school. If you can afford one of the higher ticket film schools like USC or Chapman or AFI, by all means go to it. And if you don't have that kind of coin to drop on a film school, there are some really solid film programs at community colleges. If you prefer learning at your own pace and you're extremely self-motivated, self-reliant, and proactive, then film school may not be for you. Some cowboys gotta ride alone. But the bottom line is, if you want to be a filmmaker, you have to make films. If you want to be a screenwriter, you have to write. You have to get up and just do it. The best school of all is practice. They say that you could teach anybody everything they need to know to make a film in 2 weeks, but it takes a lifetime to actually master the craft. So that said, it doesn't really matter where or how you get the knowledge, so long as you get it. And yeah, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like or subscribe. If you want to follow me on Facebook or Twitter, there's links in the description section. And that's it. D-Britt out. Yo, Darius Britt here. So today we're going to be sharing tips on how to make a good short film. So shorts can be anywhere from 45 seconds to 40 minutes, but the general rule of thumb is the shorter the better. If you